and you do pretty well with it. Okay, it's going to start exactly like the water dragon, but then things change up in a hurry. So I'm going to come up to the top of my page, and I'm going to bring this line, and this line, that first line, determines how big the head's going to be. Now, if you look, that line goes past halfway. If this is like halfway on my paper, it's past halfway, and it's only about an inch in from the left. Our biggest problem on the dragons that we were drawing with those water dragons, a lot of you are drawing this a little too short. If anything, draw it a little too long. I mean, I could take it a little further, but I do need still room to put his back on there, so I don't want to get it clear over here. And I don't want to do this one very dark because this is the one that we erased, because remember, that's not a mouth. Then we'll bring a diagonal line up, and we'll do the same thing down here. Diagonal line coming down about the same distance as one is up. We stop a little short and zoom that in, make it easier to see, and then just connect it back with that center line. You want to make sure that this line here and this line here is not too steep up and down. It needs to be angled over to the left. Okay, don't make that too steep. If your line's clear up here like this or this, you got a problem. It needs to be this away. In fact, I'd rather you lean it just a little too far than not enough. Whitney, will you shut that door for me, please? Let's do a couple of things before we put a neck on it. Let's put the nose on. We're going to come up, same way, bring that nose down. It's a long triangle. And then when we do the eye, make sure you have it going the opposite way. I did notice on some of your dragons when you drew them that you drew this and this the exact same direction. They're not the same direction. They're the opposite direction of each other. This is a little taller and a little longer. And the short side's to the left on the nose, the short side's to the right. Make sure that you don't draw this and then draw it over again, because that would be backwards. Okay. We're going to throw one little difference in here on this right off. We're going to stick a chin on this guy. Again, don't make this too far from here to here, okay? If you get it way down here, it's going to look more like a tuma. Okay, we just want a little chin. Okay? We don't want a little tiny chin because it'll look more like just a little goatee or something. If I get too far ahead of you, please let me know. Okay. Is everybody this far? Does anybody need another second? Raise your hand high if you need another second, because I do not want to get too far ahead. Those that raised your hand, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on, and we will be good. Okay, you're the only ones that need to raise your hand, just so I know. Now here's where it gets a little bit trickier, because we got to do the neck, and that did foul some people up. We do want to turn our paper this way to do it though. Okay, so the nose should be facing towards you. Okay, unless you're left-handed, and then it would be the other way around. But for right-handed, nose is facing towards you, and we come right off the corner right here where the eye and the back of the head meet, and we just want our hand to naturally curve. All I'm doing is swiveling at my wrist. I'm not picking my arm up. My hand's sitting right on the paper, and I'm just swiveling at the wrist is all I'm doing. So I come right here, and I bring it down. It's just a nice curved line. I want to make sure I get a little bit of distance between here and here, not put a big old tumor on the back of his head. So I'm just kind of following around, and it's what my hand's going to do anyway. It's just a normal way your hand bends. If you're holding your hand up like this, trying to go like this, or you're trying to do, just let your wrist do it for you, okay? This one's going to have a slightly thicker neck than our last one did. On our water dragon, we brought the neck from right here, just beyond this point. We're going to come on this side of the point this time and do the same curve. What we want to make sure, let me draw this before you draw it. What we want to make sure is the distance from here to here stays the same. If you bring this over this way and it starts to get more narrow, you're going to have to draw another line and bring it out here. Okay? I did see quite a few where you came off of here and you tended to get more narrow between here and here than it is from here to here. So if that applies to you, just draw another line that brings it more this way, especially at this end, so you don't get these two lines getting close right here. We don't want him to look like he's in a chokehold. And why we still have our paper that same direction, we got to put that third line in, and that's just for where the belly is going to go, belly scales. And all you're going to do is draw a parallel line to this line. These should look exactly alike, just with some space between them. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody on that journey. And really, in a lot of ways, it's probably the hardest thing to draw on here. After that, it's all pretty easy. Now, I'm going to raise this back up, and we're going to turn it back. Doot, 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 doot. Okay, we're back to our vertical. And instead of using the graphite end of our pencil, now it's eraser time. We're going to come in and get rid of that center line. We don't need it. It's not a mouth. It's of no use to us at this point. It was just to get our size right. So he's all gone. Then, underneath the nose, get rid of that line. The line separating the chin from the face, we'll get rid of that line. We're just cleaning up a lot of interior lines, and then the line below the eye, clean that one up too. Okay. So now we have that interesting looking shape of a dragon's head, and it's all cleaned up. I do want to erase one other little place, but I'll wait for you guys to get caught up before I do it. Zoom that in so you can see we're all cleaned up inside. There are no lines inside that area now. Everything's been cleaned out. Okay, the one last little place we need to erase is just right at the top of this line here that runs up behind the eye. Just erase that first little bit right there. You don't have to erase all the way down the corner, just the first little bit. I'll just darken that so we can see it a little better. So I want it to come up and stop right there and not go all the way to the top of the head anymore. Okay, before I put the nostril or the eyes in, I'm going to put the mouth on. We are going to come right there from that point, right at the point. I'm going to go down at first, just let it flow down, and then come up slightly, down again, up and down. Okay, I want just a little bit of a frown at the end, turn down, but not touching this. It's going to go just past where we got our eye when we draw it. In fact, I could have made it shorter and still been all right. It can be this long. I wouldn't go any longer, but we could make it slightly shorter and it'd still be okay. If we made it any longer, it'd be like coming out of the back of the jaw, and that wouldn't look right. For the eye, we're going to come up here, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to come up here and just curve that line out there. So I curve that, and then I'm going to come back to this spot, and bring it around, and just curve it back up. That makes a teardrop there, and this just makes a little gap behind it. What it does, it's like a brow going behind it. We're going to do a couple things different on this eye that I think will make it look better. And I'm going to put a round line here and a round line there, kind of like a parenthesis. That's going to be the actual eyeball. Hopefully everyone can see that from where you're at. And then that little wavy curve V right there. I'll hold that up close so you can see everything I did there. We got that little V that's kind of leaning to the left. The outside of the iris, that's the round part. The V is the pupil part. This one will be a little better eye. So let me bring this down kind of close on this eye because I want to finish off this pupil on this one. I'm going to leave a little white spot right here at the top, just showing a little circle where it is, and I'm going to fill the rest in black. And so he is now officially got a little teeny tiny shiny spot at the top of his eye. If I could get that to focus, that would be great, but I don't think it wants to. There it is, kind of. The important thing is you just leave a little shine. Now let's finish off his brow correctly. We're going to just come and get rid of that corner right there. We round that corner off and then round that corner off. So just do a little erasing so it looks more like a brow. Rounded here, rounded there, and just bring it on back. Now you don't want this to get too wide from here to here. If you got a great big old bump right here, like huge, put it on a diet, skinny it up a little bit. And then the wrinkles under the eye. I just turned it this way because it's easier to draw. Very close to the eye, but not touching it, except right at that point. And then another one a little bit shorter right underneath it. And we have his wrinkles on his eye. Okay, we're going to go down to the nose now, and we're going to do a long teardrop shape for the nostril. So all the way down, all the way back, big old teardrop for the nostril. Don't make that too small, because if he did decide to be a fire-breathing dragon, I mean, it comes out of the mouth, the nose, and all that stuff. So you don't want a little tiny nostril, because you don't want your dragon going instead of blowing fire. So you'd sound kind of dumb. Poor little dragon. Now today, I'm going to put the scales on the neck first before I come in and finish details over here. And I think you'll like this because this will be much easier than what we did before. Now, the important thing about this is we don't curve too fast. We actually keep these curves long. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm coming behind the head, and I'm going to bring a long line down that comes down here. Doesn't necessarily have to touch the bottom. The important thing is that all these lines are evenly spaced and that they are fairly steep lines. So when I turn it this way, it kind of looks like a horse's mane on him, right? I don't want to curve these this way hard like that. I want these to be long, long, long lines that are almost straight lines with just a slight curve. Now I'm going to go the other way and do the same thing. I'm going to bring one right here, and it's going to be a long line. And I'm going to come up equal space, bring that up. Oops, a little too close. Bring this to the back of the jaw. Come up here, bring another one down here. Space them evenly, bring one there, and one more right there. And look at that, we have scales now. That's a lot easier. The main thing on this is that we have these be long, long lines. If you make them too angled, they become little short scales. Either way, you're going to have scales, kind of a diamond shape, one way or the other. Now I drew them first because we're going to draw some horns and things on here, and we'll have to erase part of our scales and things, but this way we know right where our scales are going to be. And I did kind of miss one. I'm looking right here, and there probably would be one more about right there on mine. Okay, just like that. If I'm judging space-wise, you know, about the same, meaning space, space, space. got one more there. Yours may vary. Your mileage will vary by how wide apart you have them. Did anybody have a major struggle with that and it just did not go the way you thought it would? Did, I'll help you out. You can bring it to me real quick. I'll help you out. But you can bring it to me real fast. I'll help you out. No, we're good. You just got a really that's all. All right, let's doodad this dude up. This is where it starts to get way more fun, and I like this a whole lot more than the other one. So I'm going to put a big old horn right here. Big old wide horn right there. Now I'm going to stick another one behind it that's slightly shorter, and I got room to fit a third one in, so I'm going to. It's a little shorter than the other one. If you've only got room for 2, or you got room for 3 or 4, put whatever you got room for on there. If you only got room for 1, your face is too short. And I'm going to put some more up here because they're just kind of fun to put on. I'm going to put a little one here. These all curve back. I'm getting slightly longer with each one. So this one's the shortest, medium, a little bit longer. Okay. Then they're going to get really long here in a second. These are just like kind of on the top of his head, so if something tried to bite him, it would hurt him. Okay. Now we do the big one, and I'm turning my paper slightly. A really big one like that. Okay. I turn my paper. Next one, I'm going to put a little space between them. I'm going to do another really big one. And a little more space, and I'm turning my paper as I go, because I want it to follow the flow of the back of the neck. So when I bring it back up, it looks like it follows the flow around, not just like straight, 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 straight. It would not look right. Okay. If you're drawing little skinny weeny ones, you might want to readjust those. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what it should look like. Big like that. This is what it should not look like. Okay? That's a skinny weeny one. We don't want that one. One big one. Okay? Or if you drew something that looked like this, start off big, and then you go like this at the end. And I'm like, what are you doing? Okay. Instead of doing that little thing at the end, you just bring it in here like this and keep it big and get rid of that little thingy. Okay. We're going to do some erasing soon, but we'll put teeth on first, then we'll do some erasing. So the first tooth I'm going to put on is right there, and then I'm going to come up, put one there, and I'm just going to keep seesawing back and forth just like this, curving them slightly, making it a little bigger there, and bringing it right down. It's just a big zigzag line. If I turn it this way, it's like I just went zigzag, 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 all the way to the bottom. As long as it curves slightly, you're not just going straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, just like you'd been electrocuted. Okay? They need to kind of angle back to the right, slightly. If you can't figure that out, it's just like drawing the letter M over and over and over again, just with the top leaning over and the bottom leaning over. bring the back of his mouth just a little bit further back and put a little parenthesis wrinkle, maybe 2 of them back there. Just put a little wrinkle at the back of his mouth. Hopefully everybody's got erasers today, because we about to do a whole bunch of it. So at the base of every tooth, and it's basically that entire line now, we're going to get rid of it. But we know where that line is, so we can come back and fix stuff in a minute. That's not how big these teeth are going to be. It's just we don't need the line. But we do need to figure out, okay, where's the butt of the tooth go into the jawline. This is where it gets more fun after we erase it. We'll fix all this stuff. I got it all erased. Now it looks kind of weird because got it all erased out. Hopefully I don't lose anybody on this next part. This is the part that worries me. So I'll give you a second to get that erased and then show you what I'd like you to do and what to not do. So hopefully we don't run into a major snag here. All right, so here's where we'd make a big mistake that we don't want to make. I need everybody looking at the board right now so you don't do this. No matter where you are on your drawing, stop, look at the board. Don't come up here and connect it clear up here. Look where your old line was for the mouth. That is where that little curve goes. That's where that little curve goes. That's where that little curve goes. It's down there going on the old line. That's where the tooth goes into the jawline. It's clear down there. Okay, so while those teeth look like they're really big, they're not as big as they first appeared, because we're still going off our original mouth line. Okay, now I got them all on there. But if you go clear up here and do it, you're going to have one weird looking dragon. Now we talked about this when we did the water dragon, where the tooth goes into the jaw, just like on your teeth where it goes into your gum, it leaves a little bump. So we just go a little bit above the tooth or a little bit below the tooth and just put that little curved line indicating a slight little bump in there. Don't make these straight, make them parallel to the curve of your tooth. Take your time, do them right, don't do them in a hurry. And now we have a little more detail on that, a little more accurate. Pull that up tight so you can see it. Now, it's going to be eraser time here in just a second. Raise your hand if you need some more time to finish the teeth before I go into the eraser part. I do not see a hand, so here we go. Everywhere that we drew a horn, doot, 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 we're going to erase out where it meets that line. Okay, I even got to do it on top of the brow. And some of you are going to go, man, I should have drawn lighter to start with. And that's why we say that all the time. Right here, between that one and that one. that all erased out now at the base of all the horns. And we'll go in and finish these off here in a second once everybody's got them erased. They'll be very similar to the teeth. So once you got it erased, put that little slightly curved base on it. Don't go too deep with that base, just slightly curved. You don't want to bring it right down into his eyeball. And a little slight curve right here going into the back. Just like that. We're not going to put any little indentations around these just because we've got enough lines on our drawing that we don't need to. You've got all kinds of horns there. And we're going to add a few more because we're not done. But first we're going to put some belly scales on him. And these will be a lot just like a snake has. The biggest thing with this is keep your lines evenly separated apart. I'm going to turn it upside down because it's easier for my hand to go this way than it is for my hand to go this way, which doesn't feel natural. This is just what, I just got to move my wrist is all. So I'm just going to come right there and make a ton of little smiley faces over and over and over again. When I say smiley faces, when I turn it upright, those are little smiley faces. We want to make them about as evenly spaced as we can get it. We're just kind of eyeballing it. Some might be perfectly evenly spaced, some might be a little off, but as long as they're not way off, we're in good shape. Okay. So that's a little different than what we did with the water dragon. It's a little more complex on the water dragon. Okay, now we're going to put some more horns on this and we'll be done with the horns. So I'm going to put one right off this chin. I'm going to follow that line right there and I'm going to put one that comes right off his chin like that. Put that little round spot on there. Almost like a wicked little beard, but it's a horn. Got it right off the end there. I'm going to take this line and put it slightly up into this line so like I've got a tag in that overlaps right there. Hold that up close so you can see that. So it looks like his chin. Come on, focus, there we go. Just a slight tag line, just the bottom edge of his chin. Right here, I'm going to put a little lip and then bring this down. Got a little lip right there. You should be able to see it in just a second. And there it is, just the slightest little line right there for his bottom lip. And now we'll put some more horns on him. Am I getting too far ahead of anybody? Can you slow down? Okay, put another horn right here. Curve this one back. Put another one right here. Curve it back. Then I'm going to stick one going the other way right here on the back of his jaw. Comes this way. It's going to overlap where that stomach scales and stuff are, so I'll erase out anything inside of it. So that horn goes over it. And then I'm going to put another one that curves back this way right here. And that's going to overlap some of the scales. So I'll erase them out. Erase out that jawline here, erase it out here, erase it out here. I'll come back and darken the parts that I need to have dark. This is a pretty cool looking dragon actually. Then put the bases on all these. Doot, doot, doot. And it helps if you doot because then they turn out really good. So if you doot along, there you got it. This is not a dragon you'd want to try to grab and wrestle by his head. It would probably not feel great.